What if the answer to loneliness after 50 is not only finding more friends, but finding a place where your life still matters deeply? Friendship matters. A coffee date can lift your spirit. A simple WhatsApp can remind you that someone cares. But sometimes friendship grows into something more. It grows into community. And community is friendship with its sleeves rolled up. It's people showing up for one another. It's people seeing what is wrong and saying, this matters. It's people refusing to look away. It's people using their time, wisdom, skills, context, experience, and courage to make life a little better for someone else. And maybe after 50, this is one of the most powerful questions we can ask ourselves. Where do I still belong? Where can I still contribute? Where can my life experience still make a difference? Because we are not finished, we are not invisible, and we are certainly not useless. Sometimes we are exactly the people a weary community has been waiting for. This past Sunday, I had my usual chat with my children, Ruan and Marisa, who lived in Poland. I found myself telling them about something I could not stop thinking about. I'd been at a meeting where I heard people who were not just talking about problems, but they stepping in to help solving it. People who are saying, this is not good enough. People who are going to see for themselves. People who are getting involved. People who are cleaning, fixing, organizing, and quietly doing what needs to be done. And what struck me was not the politics. That was not what this episode is about. What struck me was the sense of responsibility in the room. It was the moment people stopped standing back, shaking their heads and start asking, what can I do? I've also heard about a community in the Free State where residents, farmers, business owners and local leaders start working together because they couldn't wait for someone else to rescue them. They look at a broken situation and began building something better together. Not perfectly, not easily, and certainly not without disagreement, but they acted. And that is what stayed with me. Because in South Africa, we can become very tired and disillusioned. We can become tired of bad news, tired of broken systems, tired of corruption, tired of excuses, tired of feeling that everything is someone else's responsibility. But then you hear a story like that, and something tired in you begins to shift, and hope rises. You remember that ordinary people still matters. You remember that communities are not only rebuilt by governments, organizations or leaders. Community are built by ordinary people like you and me. By people who say, I may not be able to fix everything, but I will not stand by and do nothing at all. In the last episode, we talked about friendship after 50, where friendships fade, life changes, people may move away, and families get busy. Retirement, caregiving, grief, illness, divorce, relocation, and disappointment can quickly shrink our social world. And when that happens, many people begin to feel lonely. Not always because they are physically alone, but because they no longer feel deeply connected. They miss feeling needed. They miss feeling useful. They may miss belonging to something bigger than their own worries and routines. And that is why community matters so much, because friendship gives us emotional connection, but community gives us belonging. Friendship say, I care about you. Community says, you are part of us. Friendship says, let's have tea. Community says, let's doing something meaningful together. And after 50, we need both. We need a friend who listens, but we also need a group that gives us a reason to show up. We need a person who checks in, but we also need a project that reminds us we still have something to offer. Research is confirming what many of us already feels in our hearts. We are not meant to live disconnected lives. We need conversation, shared purpose, everyday connection, and the reassurance that we are still seen, valued, and are useful. Loneliness is not only emotional, it also affects our health, our stress levels, how we sleep, our mood, and our confidence. It affects how we age. One of the strongest ways to rebuild connection is not only to look for people who can meet our needs, but find places where our presence can still make a huge difference. That shift matters most because sometimes we wait for community to find us. We wait to be invited. We wait to be included. We wait for someone else to start. But after 50, we often are the ones who can make the first small step. Maybe we are the ones who can send the message, start the walking group, join the body corporate meeting, help at church, mentor a younger person, visit a lonely neighbor, organize the cleanup, take soup to someone who is struggling, or offer our professional skills to a community project, or simply become the person who says, "You can count on me." Society often makes the mistake of seeing older people only as people who need care. That is simply not true. People after 50 still may have immense value to offer. We bring experience. We have seen life from many angles. We understand loss. We understand pressure. We understand responsibility. We know what it means to raise children, run a home, survive financial strain, care for aging parents, manage conflict, recover from disappointment, and keep going when life does not go as planned. That kind of wisdom is no small thing. It is precious, and many community urgently needs exactly that wisdom. They need calm people. They need practical people. They need people who can organize, people who can listen, people who can keep records, people who can make phone calls, people who can connect others, people who can say, "Please do not fight. Let us rather solve this together." People who can look past drama and focus on what needs to be done. That is a gift many people over 50 can bring to the table, not because we are perfect, but because we have lived our lives. And let's be honest, it is so easy to complain. Sometimes it feels like a South African sport, and sometimes the complaints are completely justified. There are lots of things that are not working. There are systems that fail people. There are leaders who disappointed us. There are communities who are struggling with neglect, poor management, and sometimes corruption. We should never pretend those realities does not exist. But there is also a danger. If all of us just complain, we slowly give away our power. Because complaining can become a habit, a way of feeling involved without actually becoming involved. And I say this gently because I've been there too. It's easy to sit around a table and talk about what they should do. They should fix the street. They should clean the park. They should check on the elderly neighbor. They should organize the meeting. They should solve the problem. They should sort themselves out. But communities rarely change because everybody is waiting for they. Community change when somebody quietly asks a different question. What can I do so they become we. Not everything, not alone, just something. Maybe I can make the phone call. Maybe I can start attend the meeting. Maybe I can check on a neighbor. Maybe I can introduce two people who need each other. Maybe I can take that small one step to start. Because at some point we realize something important. We are not standing outside the community. We are the community. And our presence matters. Not because we have to carry the whole world on our shoulders, not because we must solve every single problem, but because small actions repeated by ordinary people are often how communities become extraordinary. And after 50, many of us have something incredibly valuable to offer: experience, wisdom, perspective, time. Sometimes the most important thing we can simply do is showing up. Because communities do not become stronger when everybody waits for someone else. They become stronger when somebody starts working. So what can we do? We do not have to start big. In fact, big often becomes overwhelming. Start small. Number one, choose one place where you already belong. Your complex, your street, your church, your walking group, your charity, your family, or even your online community. Do not try to fix the whole wide world. Choose one circle. Number two, ask one better question. Instead of asking, why is nobody doing anything? Ask, what is one small thing I can do that is realistic for my season of life? That question brings your power back. Number three, use the skills you have already have. You don't have to go and study, but if you are good with one thing, contribute that. Whether it is admin, you can help with records. If you are good with people, you can welcome newcomers. If you are good with gardening, you can improve a shared space. If you are good with money, you can help with a transparent spending plan. If you are good with communication, you can help write messages clearly. If you are good at listening, visit someone who is lonely and need an ear to talk. Your ordinary skills may be exactly what the community needs. Number four, build bridges. Community is not built with people who think like us, look like us, vote like us, worship like us, or live exactly like us. Real community requires maturity. It asks us to listen, to respect, to stay calm, and to find shared grounds. To say, we may not agree on everything, but we both care about this place. That is powerful. Number five, protect your boundaries. Community does not mean becoming exhausted. It does not mean to carry every problem and to try to solve it. It does not mean saying yes to everything. Healthy contribution has its boundaries. You can say, I can help with this, but not with that. You can say, I am available only on Tuesday mornings. You can say, I can assist with the planning, but I cannot run the entire project. Boundaries keep your contribution sustainable. Number six, be reliable. Reliability is underrated. You do not have to be the loudest person in the room. You do not have to be the cleverest. You do not have to have the biggest, smartest title. Sometimes the most powerful person in a community is the one who quietly does what they said they would do. They arrive, they phone back, they follow up, they remember, they care. That kind of person rebuilds trust. And trust is the foundation of community. I think we sometimes underestimate how healing community can be. When you are lonely, community reminds you that you are not alone. When you are grieving, community gives you people who can sit with you and comfort you. When you are aging, community reminds you that your life still has purpose. When you are discouraged, community shows you that good people still exist. And when you are tired of bad news, community gives you something practical to do with your hope. Because hope is not always a feeling, hope is also an action. Hope is the neighbor who checks the gate. Hope is the group that cleans the pavement. Hope is the retired accountant who helps a small charity with its book. Hope is the person who quietly says, I still care enough to show up. So maybe the question after 50 is not just, who are my friends? Maybe the deeper question is, where is my community? Where can I belong? Where can I contribute? And help build something healthier, kinder, stronger, and better? Because we still need each other. We need friendship. We need conversations. We need laughter. We need people who understand our stage of life. But we also need shared purpose. We need places where our wisdom is useful. We need communities where we do more than just participate. We help carry one another. And maybe that is one of the greatest gifts of life after 50. We no longer have to prove ourselves in the same old way. We don't need to compete. We can simply serve from who we have become. We can be steady, we can be kind, we can be practical, we can be brave. We can be the person who bring calm into the chaos. We can be the person who connects people. We can be the person who reminds others that change is still possible. And here is my small challenge for this week. Choose one community circle, just one, and ask yourself, what is one small realistic way I can show up? Not perfectly, not dramatically, just faithfully. Because community is not built by perfect people. It is built by people who care enough to take the next small step. And maybe after 50, that is exactly where our power lies. Life after retirement is not about stepping back. It's about stepping into who we always meant to become. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. Until next time, bye-bye for now.